I'm not quite sure if this works all right or not. If you can't hear me, please put your hand up. That always works a treat. Now, they say that the brain is a wonderful thing. It never stops working from the moment that you're born right up until the moment when you stand up and try to make a speech. I just hope mine's going to last a little bit longer than that. Look, you're all very welcome here today to help Marianne and me celebrate the wedding of these two wonderful people on my left. A particular welcome to Zaf's family, who we've grown to know over the last year or so. And we've also grown to enjoy their Malaysian cooking, homemade Malaysian cooking, which has been delightful. And I'd also like to thank those who have travelled a really long distance to get here from places like Australia, the east coast of America, west coast of America, Malaysia, Holland and the rest of Europe. We're delighted to see you all here. Last but not least, a real thank you for my dear wife Marianne, who helped to bring Natalie into this world. It's my pleasant duty today to toast the bride and groom. And my informal duty to try to spill the beans on the bride's past. Now that actually could be difficult because I'm not sure that I know the half of it. But one or two might like to chip in at some point or another. Today was spawned about something over a year ago. We were having a holiday in Center Parcs in Holland, and Chris and my other daughter, Sam, with their little daughters over here, these two lovely people, Marianne and I, were enjoying our holiday. And the Center Parcs was actually in the Zeeland area of Holland, which is where Marianne was born. And she was absolutely very proud of her Dutch heritage, and she was delighted that her younger daughter was to get engaged in that same part of Holland. That means an awful lot to her. Partway through the holiday, Marianne and I were sitting and having a cup of tea or something, and Zaf appeared from nowhere and said he'd really, could he please have a few words? Now, you know, I'd been caught like this once before, 15 years ago, when my other daughter got married. So I had a clue as to what he might come and say. Now, if, of course, he'd asked for Natalie's hand in marriage, my immediate response would be, if it's the one that's been dipping into my wallet for the last 40 years, he's more than welcome to it. Actually, he didn't say that. He's a more polite chap than that. He said, I would really like to marry your daughter, Natalie. And Marianne is just chipping in here. She's been reading my notes because she got it right.
Ask for your blessing.
But he would like to ask for our blessing. And of course, we are delighted to give that to him, whatever a blessing is. Oh, hang on. I finished that bit. We were delighted to do that, of course. And after a few minutes, Zaf said something like, well, watch your space, and off he went. Unknown to us, Sam and Chris had been asked to sort out some bunting and some drinks for some celebration that was going to take place, which we all knew what was going to happen, except Natalie. He contrived to get us to fly a couple of kites down by the sea, and that was fun. The little kids liked it, we all liked it. It was a nice day, there was plenty of wind, and we flew the kites for half an hour or so. But it got a bit cold, and we decided to go back to the ranch where we were living. We started for home, and Zaf said to Nat, it's lovely down here actually, can we just go and sit on the rocks over there stare at the seagulls and, commune for a few moments. Oh, Nat nearly ruined the whole plan. She said, it's a bit cold. Can't we go back to the house and have a cup of tea with the others? Well, Zaf is also a very persuasive chap, and he managed to get Nat onto the rocks. We went home with Sam and Chris, not still quite knowing that each knew what was happening, but that became clear as we got the bunting and stuff out, and then we sat down and waited. After a while, the couple appeared. Now, I've never seen Natalie so excited in all her life.
Right.
She was nearly speechless, and that is not a thing that happens very often. She stammered something like, "Something's happened. We've got engaged." Little did she know that she was actually the last to know, but we congratulated both of them, and the rest of the day just went by in a cloud of wonderful happiness. So, what of Natalie Sarah Elizabeth Pilgrim? She hates the fact, for a start, that we gave her 3 long names, and it's become, in the rest of our family, they all get short names, like Evie and Isla and so on. Anyway, she was born in Bury St Edmunds in 1978. As time went by, her sister was quite busy pursuing her early career, which was to push parental boundaries as far as she could, and then just a little further. And Natalie's not stupid, so she worked out she didn't have to do any of that at all. She could just get on with life, and she would probably turn out to be a bit of an actress, fun girl, sports, boys, and so on. We well remember the first time that we thought she was a bit of an actress. Quite a young age, probably 3 or something like that. Mum was trying to get her into bed. Natalie, she grabbed her arm. Natalie wouldn't go, of course. Mum grabbed her arm, and Natalie let go her feet, and she fell. And Mum hung on to the arm, and there was a crack. And we thought, oh my God, we've broken her arm or something like that. Well, she whimpered, and it was too late to go to the doctor. So we got her into bed with a little sling on her arm, and she looked very sorry for herself, but she went off to sleep. And the next day, Marianne said, I'll take her to the surgery. So she took her to the surgery. The nurses and the nurse and the doctor had a look at the arm. They couldn't find anything wrong with it at all. Well, the medical profession are not fools. And the nurse popped off to pick up a little can of small sweeties and lollipops, in fact, children's lollipops. And she held it out to Natalie and said, would you like one of these, darling? And she held it so that she had to take it with the bad arm. So she took it, and she sucked it for a little while. And then the nurse said to her, can you lift that up above your head, Natalie? Oh, think I can do that.
Swing it.
Can you swing it round and round? Whoa, I think I can do that. Can you swing it the other way? Whoa! Well, her cover was blown. And so began her acting career. Nothing wrong with her arm at all. As a family, we enjoyed camping in the early stages of life. We used to go with canvas holidays, usually to France, and Natalie came at the age of 9 months to the first time we went. She spent most of the time trying to crawl out of the tent when we weren't looking. Luckily, she couldn't walk at that stage, so we managed to contain her fairly well. Oh, that suddenly worked better. Anyway, as we got older, they decided to come skiing, or we decided to take them skiing, I suppose. And we gave them the first set of lessons in Andorra. Now, Andorra is actually a very good place to give children the first lessons of skiing because the instructors are nearly all New Zealanders. They are excellent skiers, and English is their first language. So the girls learnt quite a lot in the first week. Later on, a year or two later, we went back to France. And a couple of things happened to Natalie on that occasion, or not to her, or by her. The first was that I decided it was time she just stopped messing about on the very baby slopes at the bottom, and I would take her up a chairlift and make her go down a slightly more difficult slope. So up we went, and I was at the top there with her, explaining how, now there's a slope and it goes straight down there, but you've got to come with me, and we go sideways, and then we go sideways again, and then we go, well, she was bored to tears with that. Next time I looked, she was heading straight down the hill, fast as she could, got to the bottom in no time, didn't hit anybody, didn't fall over, and turned around and laughed. And they then had to wait quite a long time till I managed to get down. The second thing that actually happened while we were on a skiing holiday that was rather funny, we had a two-bedroom apartment, and the girls, Sam and Natalie, had one bedroom. Natalie was up on the top bunk bed, and Sam was at the bottom, and off they went to sleep. During the night, Natalie started to shout for help, and we were a bit worried about that. We went next door in the middle of the night, opened the door, turned on the light, looked at the bed, nobody in it. Oh my God, where is she? Then there was a whimper from behind us, turned round, there she was on top of a cupboard. You might ask what she's doing on top of a cupboard. Well, we asked that too. She had actually managed to get from a 6-foot-high bunk in the middle of the night in the dark, across a 3-foot-wide empty space, and onto this cupboard without falling down and without doing herself any injury. Well, she spent the rest of that week actually sleeping on the floor in the kitchen. You might ask about Sam, what did she... Well, she slept through the whole thing. So, and that was that. Skiing continued for... Sorry, Marianne's given me the wrong one. It is this one, yes. Education came along, of course, at some point, and interfered with the fun life. She started, as Sam did, with Sevenoaks County Primary School, and at the age of 11 went to Tunbridge Grammar School, where she did quite well. She played the clarinet, she joined in school plays, acting of course, and passed the odd exam here and there. But I think the best part of that school was that they travelled by train from Sevenoaks to Tunbridge, and the train was full of boys from the boys' school, full of girls from the girls' school, a few poor old commuters who never knew what hit them, and I think that the girls and the boys thought their Christmases had all come at once. She had a short work experience around this time, and that was with a company, or maybe a little later, a company called Compaq, who many of you will know became part of HP. But so that was her early learning for HP. Her exams got her to Loughborough University, and quite a number of friends from those days, I think, are here today. They enjoyed a bit of time with her old banger of a Volkswagen car, known as the Red Rocket. Really, some people know about that. Some yobs broke into it one day, and they all went to see what damage had been done, and the girls got in and said, "Oh, Natalie, look what they've done. They've pulled all this stuff down from the ceiling." She said, "Well, actually, it was always like that." And in the glove pocket, they throw things in, and it all comes out the bottom and all over the... Well, it was always like that. I think actually these yobs hadn't done very much damage at all. Anyway, moving on from that, we get more towards her adult life, but sad to say, that is more shrouded in mystery, and I'm afraid I don't know too much about that. So I'm also running out of time, but I can't finish before I actually mention some of her other achievements.
You've got loads of cards. Mixed doubles.
I'm just trying to decipher her handwriting, sorry. She played the recorder, she played the clarinet, she played the piano, not all at the same time. Played netball, tennis, modern and tap dancing, and she skied, snowboarded and camped. She actually beat me at tennis, much to my chagrin, 62 years ago, and I don't think I've ever won a game since. But there we are. But now she's marrying a golfer with a handicap of 5, or thereabouts, who is teaching her to play golf. And I think now the writing is on the wall for me. I shan't be able to beat her at anything. I think I'll take her on at croquet. Well, her academic success got her back to Compaq again, which became part of HP, and many of you are associated with that great company. She forged a successful career, but how she managed to fit any work into the busy social life that she's had for the last however many years is a mystery to both of us. Maybe one of her bosses could enlighten us a bit on that later on tonight. But her biggest success at HP was, of course, to find Zaf and get engaged. Before I finish, I'd just like to say a word or two to Zaf. Zaf, look after her, because she is rather special. She's also quite expensive.
Don't I know that?
But during your marital life, you will make all the major decisions. Natalie will make all the minor decisions. And all you'll find out is that all decisions are minor ones, and you have to put up with them all. You may have heard what Oscar Wilde once said about women. They are to be loved but not understood. And whoever said that marriage was 50-50 knows little about women and nothing at all about fractions. In the discussions that you will inevitably have through your married life, just remember the 2 final words of any discussions. They are, yes, darling. If you're wrong, Zaf, admit it. If you're right, shut up. And if you would like to know how to best remember your anniversaries from year to year as you go on, just forget the first one. You'll get plenty of reminders after that. Well, when you give away your daughter, it's one of the few times in life where you can speak almost without interruption. And Natalie's dread at this point is that I'm leading up to the point where I might try to tell you a joke. And that's been a constant source of irritation between her and her sister. In fact, I got a Father's Day card once, a long time ago. It said something along the lines of, "Best Dad, I'm going to make a supreme effort to laugh at one of your jokes today." Anyway, the years have rolled by. Discretion has become the better part of valour, and I think jokes are actually for the bar afterwards. So I'm not going to tell you a joke. But just in case you think I've made all this stuff up, I've got an actual Father's Day card here from quite a long time ago. It's signed by Natalie. I've forgotten to take it out of my pocket, and my pocket's gone. So I'm really sorry about that. That was a bit of a cock up on my part. Oh, I think the jacket's coming. Oh, I think he's found it. I was just going... Thank you. Yeah, this is the one. Splendid. This is it. It's signed inside by Natalie quite a lot of years ago. Is that your signature? Definitely yes. And it says, Dad. Dad, there comes a time in a young person's life when they have to tell their father that they can no longer accept his money, that it's time to leave the nest and make it on their own. And inside it says, don't hold your breath. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and that you've enjoyed it so far. I would ask you please to charge your glasses, they might already be charged, and stand or sit as you feel fit, and raise your glasses and toast with me the bride and groom, Nat and Zach.
I'm watching while Natalie walks up onto stage, wins yet another top performer award. And then going on to deliver an absolutely flawless speech. No mistakes, lots of gags, everyone laughing, rolling on the floor. Oh, it's just, I wish I'd been there for some of them, but I've heard how good they are. But guys, get a tissue ready. I think we can all agree today. God, I can't believe this. Zaf has won the biggest prize of all.
So when Zaf came over to, I think it was Tuesday, was it? He came over to see us? Came and spoke to us about what we had to do on today and present and talk you through. He was quite nervous about what he had to do now. And we were like, it's easy, Zaf, you just have to thank a load of people. You generally have the easiest speech out of all of them. So really, Zaf, you just can't fuck this one up. Come on.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Dec. Dec is out of rehab. You are doing an amazing job, though. Thank you, MCs. I didn't know what to expect, so and I didn't expect that, so that was the best outcome ever. But thank you. You're doing really well. Well done. So first of all, I'm sorry I have to reference my phone. All my notes are on here, and I don't want to forget anyone or forget anything. Got cash out to do. My job today is really easy, like they said. Make a few thank yous and really keep it together when I talk about my lovely new wife, Mrs. Natalie. I put a small way in there, but that was massive. I should put it in capitals. So our first thank you to echo Don's speech is all the guys that have travelled here today. Those from far and wide. We've got from Australia, we've got US, we've got Europe, and we've got Malaysia here. So and Exeter. So thank you all so much for making the effort. We are absolutely touched that you are here. Secondly, we would like to thank those that have come from closer, like London and the UK. And a special mention to Jack and Jodie, who actually walked here from where they actually live. So thank you very much for making the effort. And actually, we need to make a toast for those that are absent or not here today. And it wouldn't really be my wedding if I didn't make a special mention to a certain someone that's been the glue to our university group. She's been mentioned in every single wedding, and here is to Valerie Davison. To continue with our thanks, everything at this wedding and everything around this wedding wouldn't be the same without a few superb people around us. The groomsmen, GC, Graham, Stevie, and the bridesmaids, Sam, Mary, Jess, I want to say a couple of things about my groomsmen. Normally a groom wouldn't want to relive his stag do, but this one was something special. I'm sure you get a different tone when it comes to the best man speech, but this one's my view anyway. For those that weren't aware, my stag do was in Manchester and it went viral. Crazy. I was dressed. I was dressed as a fox, a full fox outfit, and I was chased around Manchester by my 15 friends who were dressed as fox huntsmen. And it was videoed by one general public in Manchester, and it was uploaded to this social media group called Lab Bible. And in 48 hours, it reached 5 million views. 5 million views. We're almost famous. So if you want to YouTube it later, just type in Fox Hunt Stag Do and you'll see us. So these three guys are absolute geniuses. They're so clever and so thoughtful in everything they've done for me and around the wedding. So I just want to make a special mention to them because I really appreciate you guys and I love you. I personally want to take this opportunity to congratulate Graham. Yay! Graham Clark. Please, Graham has finally popped the question to his better half. I'm so pleased to raise a glass to you, Graham Clark, and your fiancé, Charlie. Yay! We look forward to your big day and your stag do. Right, so about the bridesmaids, we can all agree they all look absolutely beautiful today. And as a token of their support, we've got them something. So if you wouldn't mind, all of the bridesmaids, please come up. That's Zarina, Diana, I don't know where they are. Zarina and Diana, Evie, Isla, Jess, Mary, and Maid of Honour, Sam. Wow, look at your medals. Wow. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mulberry bag. I think someone's a little bit tight. Are they okay? A big thank you from Nats, by the way, for all your help in the run-up to the big day, and for organising what can only be described as the best hen do I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And they do not look beautiful today without the hair, so a special mention to Span for doing all the bridesmaids' hairs. If you have any business cards, you just leave them out here. Finally, lastly, but most important, we would like to thank our families, all 17 of them here today. Don, Marianne, Sam and Chris, Evie and Isla, Mum, Dad, Shida, Manuel, Zarina, Diana, and Uzai. And Luca and Mia. Did I forget Luca and Mia? Yes. I did, didn't I? Yeah, sorry. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for all the love and support in shaping us to become who we are today. We have a little something for the mothers. Thanks, Vincent. And that's for you. Right. So here comes the soppy part now. I'm not a man of many words, but when it comes to Nats, I can talk about her all day. I knew I would be amazed at how gorgeous she looked today. In my head, I've pictured it, looking absolutely beautiful, the dress, her, everything. But in real life, it's surpassed my expectations. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but there was a bit of a tear at the front there. Did you notice it? I thought I hid it well. I didn't hide it well at all. I hid it well, okay. She sparkles even brighter than normal today, and not just because of her new wedding jewellery and white teeth. So a bit about me and Nats. I know most of you know us and you know, been around us since we've been together, but Nats and I work for the same company, as you know, and we've known each other for a very, very long time. I remember when I first met Nats, something like 10 years ago. Nats met me 8 years ago. Yeah, two years later. But I guess that's why our relationship is so solid today. I had a couple of years extra head start, making mistakes early, building the foundation. You know, played the long game very well. Nats is just amazing at life in general. She works hard and she plays hard. She's just so positive, and everyone just seems to want to be around her all the time because she's fun and she brings out the best in people. I love her for who she is and who she makes me want to be, the best version of myself. Did you know, last week, Nats won an industry-wide award. This epitomises what I mean. She won Sales Manager of the Year, and it's an award recognised by everyone in the IT industry, inside and outside of HP. It just shows how much she's well respected and how much she's well loved. So I think we should all give her a huge round of applause. I'm so proud of her. Told you I can talk about Nats loads. So speaking of awards, a few months back, Nats and I were lucky enough to pick up an award for HP. We were referenced when we were coming up to get the award. We were referenced as the Posh and Becks of the IT industry. I was Bex by then. And at work, once or twice, we've been referenced as the prom king and queen, the most popular couple in school. But these are such nice accolades. However, I remember when we first started, I didn't always get these flattering compliments. I often got, "How did you get her?" I got, "You're massively punching above your weight." And I got, "You're a very lucky man," emphasis on very. I think if I had £1 for every time I had those comments, the wedding would have paid for itself. No, I know I'm a very lucky man. But, see, I told you I can talk about Nats all day. But I just wanted to say to you, Nats, keep it together, keep it together. Clutch putt, keep it together. The last 3 years have been the best years of my life, and it's flown by. I look forward to spending the rest of my life with you and trying to beat you at table tennis. You are my best friend. You are 100% my type on paper. And I promise my head's not going to get turned. A little Love Island reference there for those that don't know. So a little toast to Nats. To Mrs. Natalie Knorr. Oh, whoa, I'm not done. Sit is an upstanding bit. There is a upstanding bit. Are you cutting me off? Did they cut me off? All right. We're actually on 8 minutes right now. I'm timing myself. So the final toast. Now, please be upstanding. All right. Thank you all so much. This is from us. Thank you all so much for being here today, for all the kind words, the generous gifts. Thank you for Lillibrook Manor, amazing, a magnificent venue, and all the staff here. We encourage everyone to take as many pictures as possible, and if you post anything on social media, please use our hashtag Zaffily. So we can. Sorry, I'm going to have to squeeze past. So we can follow you on Instagram. So what I'm trying to do is going to take the biggest selfie I've ever done in my life. Ready? Ready, guys? Everyone in? Excellent. Thank you so much. I think that might be a record for me. Right. Sorry. Back in the game. Back in the game. Right, so I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening. We have a fantastic band tonight, by the way. Lots of drinks, plenty of medals to play for, and we've got some big names turning up at 8 o'clock. So please raise your glasses. My final words are...
Good. Whoever's doing the speech, just do it with that one.
When he gets up there. Yeah. So, the time has come. GC. What can we say about GC? Calm under pressure, undoubtedly. Clear on his direction, always very, very clear. And I think we can all agree, ladies and gents, he looks great in a suit. Woo! Or maybe not, okay. Didn't read the crowd that well.
No one's ever said that. Said no one ever.
However, there is one secret that he's been hiding for some time.
So just like this speech, he loves to follow Zaf. Zaf decided to go to Bristol Uni. Uni, same place. GC went to UE.
After uni, Zaf moved back to Wokingham. GC moved back to Wokingham. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, GC.
Zaf got himself a lovely watch. GC decided himself to get a lovely watch.
Zaf played golf. GC tried to play golf. Unsuccessfully.
Zaf today wore grey trousers, grey waistcoat, and a lovely black jacket. So did GC.
And finally, as we all know, Zaf got married. GC had to get engaged. So we'll edit out all the facts from that, mate. You just take it away.
Thank you very much. Going to go this way. So in true teacher style, I am a teacher, by the way. There will be some audience participation tonight. So Going to give you about 30 seconds to log on to kahoot.it. Don't put in the www, it's fine. There will be a pin, but I'll show you that later on. But if you just have it ready, it'll make everything a little bit smoother. This is my go-to cover lesson as well. So, you know, this is a little bit of me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the highest honour to be the best man for my very dear friend Zaf. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Graham, and I've known Zaf for nearly 13 years. I've known Nats for probably about 2 years now, but I've heard about her for quite a lot longer than that. From seeing them together for the first time, it is clear that what they have is special, and it is no surprise that we're here today to celebrate these two amazing people committing the rest of their lives together. Nats, you look truly wonderful today. You look truly wonderful, sorry. Just finding my space. You're kind. You're funny. And let's be honest, you have the patience of a saint. And Zaf, you've got lovely hair. Yeah. Zaf and I are part of a group of uni friends who are very, very close. And for Nats to be introduced into our group after a decade of history is no mean feat. However, Nits, definitely not Nits, oh, don't let that stick. Nats has fitted in perfectly, and now I can't imagine a time when she wasn't in our lives, for which we feel very lucky. Zaf and I first met in the hallway between flat 410 and 411 in Brecon Court at UWE, all the way back in September 2006. Sophisticated, stylish, sexy. I thought Zaf was none of these things. As the picture here, click, and again, and one more. Oh no! As the picture here can contest. I'm not sure that blonde highlights and a mullet were ever fashionable, and I'm even sure that this poor man's impression of One Direction it's not much better, but this was a very deliberate plan that Zaf and I constructed in the first year. We're very clever like this, to ensure that we attracted absolutely no female attention in the first year of university. And let me tell you, this was so that we could focus entirely on our studies, and let me tell you, it's worked. It worked perfectly, Mr. and Mrs. Noor, let me tell you that. Nevertheless, we hung out, and 13 years later, we're celebrating his marriage to the wonderful Natalie, or Nats as she's lovingly known. And Zaf and I, we have a relationship based on having absolutely the most amount of fun. Bear with. Take that. We've been in the same football team, FC Fenerbahce. He taught me, as has already been referenced, to at least hit a ball straight on the golf course. And lately, he's even tried his hand at boxing, would you believe? Because as you can see, he's definitely punching above his weight today. Hey! It's a cheap shot, but there we go. Whilst I'm clearly roasting a bit, and by the way, I've not finished, Zaf has some outstanding qualities as a human being. He really does. He's generous to a fault, and he treats his friends as if they were members of his own family. Zaf and I have lived together in Willow Avenue in the second year of uni. The year Steve and I got him kicked off Facebook for posting, should we say, some colourful images on his Facebook profile. We also lived in White Ladies Road in the final year, and this was above a KFC, a coral betting shop and a bar, so you can imagine how productive that was. Fortunately, we still had our plan to ensure that we repelled all female attention, which was working better than ever. So things balanced out in the end, so that was fine. My favourite memory of our final year, though, was our no-holds-barred pranks week. We were about to move out, and so nothing seemed off the table. It culminated with Steve and I hiding kippers and cheese behind Zaf's radiator. Gets worse. Gets very worse. And we then left the radiator on and turned it on, left it on every time he left the flat. And it was also the height of summer. Let us not leave that out. He couldn't find the source of the smell, resulting in Zaf moving out to a friend's house for a few days, admitting defeat. He got me back though. He unloaded a kilogram bag of salt into my double bed and stuck the entire contents of my pencil case, onto the bedroom ceiling. Zaf's sense of humour is one of his best qualities. I know that Zaf and Natalie's future home will be one of love and fun. Talking about the stag do during the best man speech is usually off limits. Firstly, only a small group of people in this room were there and would understand the references. Secondly, it's supposed to be the best day of the groom's life, and perhaps it's unfair to embarrass him in front of his future in-laws. Fortunately, over 5 million people have seen exactly what happened on the stag do as it went viral on Unilad and Lad Bible. Yeah, it's very dry. Sorry. Okay. And unfortunately for Zaf, his feelings are way less important to me than getting a laugh at his expense. It didn't start well when we asked him to make his way to Heathrow and meet us by Zone G at the check-in desk. Forgot to put that in there. It soon dawned on him that we weren't in fact flying anywhere, but instead going to Manchester from Euston Station. To be honest, I'm not sure why he believed anything that we said with the requests we had in the weeks leading up to it. He even measured his head for us. Being a dedicated and diligent friend as I am, I made sure that we consulted with Nats in the week leading up to the stag to ensure that all risk assessment was thoroughly carried out. This was including asking Nats if Zaf had all the vaccines listed above, which, as you can see, was greatly received. Zaf had to complete a whole host of challenges through the weekend. This included getting the general public of Manchester to sign a petition to enforce the north-south divide. He could only wear the clothes, Exhibit A, that we gave him all weekend, keeping only 2 luxury items, which was his pants and his wallet. He had to give out all 100 business cards to his fake taxi company called Luba. For which we gave him a burner phone for the weekend, and he was receiving challenges on that. And he got phone calls all weekend. The strapline is, entry from the rear, which is good, and smile, you're on CCTV. So, fantastic stuff. And we really put his selling skills to the test by making him sell a collection of random items from a bag that we gave him, and this was where he really excelled. And to anyone at HP, I would say he's actually worth keeping. He made nearly £10. However, it was Saturday night's fun that attracted the attention. We dressed him as a fox. We then gave him 5 minutes head start, and we, dressed as hunters, had to chase him through the streets of Manchester. He managed to outfox us on several occasions, and this is how it played out as a recording from the general public. What an absolute hero. Despite what we put Zaf through, I think it's fair to say he had a great time. And we were all very impressed that he didn't back out of any challenges, which is respect indeed. And I expect him to remember these kind of words, as I'm certain he will have a big hand in planning my stag do, which is in the not so distant future. It was quite cool to have the recognition of putting on an event that clearly captures the nation's imagination, especially with some of the comments we received, such as the one James Lask who said, "Absolute legends, a stag gold standard." However, not everyone was amused by our antics. One Ross Wilson said, without irony, "Tory stag, should have shot them." Now, irrelevant. I'm going to assume that Ross's concern was with the hunting element of the weekend. However, Ross's solution was to have a shot, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a form of hunting. So, Ross, just getting the bin, mate. Not bitter at all, not bitter at all. It was an absolute pleasure to organise Zaf's stag do, and something that was made much easier by my fellow groomsmen, Graham and Stevie, who must absolutely take equal credit for getting it all together, as well as the role in today's wedding. Moreover, they say that the measure of a man is the company that he keeps, and Zaf is very lucky to have a group of friends such as he does. So can we get a round of applause for all of Zaf's friends? Thank you. There we go. Lovely, isn't it? I think everyone here would join me in wanting to say a big thank you to the bride and groom and their respective families for putting on such a fantastic day at such a stunning venue. The boys and I were looking at events today that happened on this date throughout history. Turns out there wasn't much that happened that wasn't about death or pestilence. However, we did find out that the Euro 2020 final will be on the 12th of July next year, so apologies in advance, Nats, but we're going to Wembley, boys, yes! Thanks also to the groomsmen for telling people where to sit in the ceremony today. That alone was worth the suit hire fee. I'd also like to thank the bridesmaids, who I think we'll all agree have done a marvellous job today. Before the ceremony, there were tears, there were tantrums, stamping of feet. But once they managed to calm Zaf down, things went very smoothly, and they did this whilst looking absolutely fantastic. And in fairness to Zaf, it is common for the groom to be a little bit nervous, but I think it's taken it all in his stride, right from the proposal until standing up in front of his family and peers and giving an articulate and well-delivered speech. However, this is because it's not his first proposal. Don't worry, it turns out well, obviously. I'm not an idiot. In October last year, we went for a drink in this proper lads pub, proper men, surrounded by builders and, scaffolders and people like that.
This is scaffolders.
Bobbers. We were chatting about the wedding, at which point Zaf got down on one knee and presented me with this ring, which has best man inscribed on the inside. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to my PA, Zoe Matthews. Best man inscribed on the inside. Being caught up in the moment, we hugged it out like proper bros do, completely forgetting how this looked to those around. But needless to say, he made me the happiest boy in the room. The fact that we kissed after it had nothing to do with it. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. Okay, taking a risk here. But this is the part of the proceedings where we have some audience participation. I hope you've all logged on to kahoot.it. If you haven't already logged on, please do it now. Go onto your browser. Now, it's asking for a pin, which I will show you in a minute. Essentially, the aim of the game is to guess the true fact about Zaf. I've just had it cleared, though, from the happy couple that the winner will be able to house sit for them while they're on a honeymoon. So best luck. Let's give it a go. It's coming. Hold on. Gosh, you're like year 9. Ooh. Okay, it's not working a little bit. Vincent. Sorry, it's just not going onto that screen. Oh, there we go. Nothing that dodgy. I'm quite surprised and proud of you all, actually. Not one swear word. Okay, it's going to give you about 20 seconds more and then we're going to start letting people get involved. Okay.
Zaf all by numbers and facts and stats. Are you ready? Here is a statistic. What does it refer to? 33. So here's a statistic. Was it refer in red the amount of time that he asked Nats out before she said yes? In blue, his golfing handicap, or in orange, Zaf's age this year? There you go, obviously he was age this year. Well done to Footlock. Second, what does it refer to? So we've got red, date with Nats after which he proposed. Blue, his Nor Pilgrim household pecking order position. Or orange, the class of his degree. Yellow, orange, you know what I mean. There we go, yeah. That might be a bit defamatory. Footlong's still in the lead. 5 minutes, this is the statistic. So red, the time it takes him to do his hair divided by 10. Blue, time played on the pitch before a substitution must be made. Or orange, the time it takes him to fall asleep when sat on the sofa. There we go. For what reason was Zaf in trouble with the police? Red, for trading on public transport without a licence. Blue, he moved a police car. Or orange, for cyberbullying a student in our university. He moved the police car. His sister told me that. For what reason does Zaf's well-known abilities fall asleep anyway get him in trouble? Is it red, he fell asleep at the wheel in his first driving test attempt? Is it that blue, he was a suspected illegal immigrant on the way back into Malaysia? Or is it that he's orange, sorry, that it is orange and he fell asleep on the toilet in A&B Leisure Sports Bar? It was blue! I love that! Oh, go on, Charlie. Well, I tried to Zaf not to choose to take on the stag do. Red, his only toothbrush. Blue, a clean pair of pants. Orange, a medal. Green, his wallet. It was his only toothbrush.
That's generally for men, isn't it? They forget the toothbrush.
What is that partially qualified in? Nothing. Red, a ballroom dancer.
Yeah.
Blue, filmmaker, genre adult. Orange, finance. And of course was orange in finance, that was his degree. What does Zaf refer to himself as on Facebook? The Malaysia Tiger Woods, the Little Thai Elephant Boy, or Mr. Pilgrim running errands? It was, of course, that Little Thai Elephant Boy. Come on, Furlong.
We got that one as well.
Final question. What was Zaf called by a homeless person whilst on a stag do in Berlin? The Roger Daltrey, the Deep Purple, or the William Shakespeare of Tokyo?
What was the first one? William?
It was all of them. There you go.
Was there an option for that?
Well done, Footlong. Who's Footlong?
We didn't do too well.
There we go, Steve. Stevie's going to be looking after you. Thank you very much. Okay, where's the clicker? There it is. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit deep now, we're going to get a little bit serious. So, I can't imagine what it's like to get married. I asked my dad, and he's done it 3 times now. But even he couldn't tell me what it's really about. I think it's about accepting each other for who they are, and loving them despite their faults. It's about sharing the good times and enduring the bad, as well as bringing out the best in each other, and definitely do just that. Despite my lack of marital experience, I'd like to offer the pilgrims the following advice. Never go to bed on an argument. Instead, stay up and argue. She's probably right anyway. Compromise. Sometimes even let him talk. Remember that I'm sorry is such a powerful phrase, such as, I'm sorry, but if I agreed with you, then we'd both be wrong. Say I love you every day. Sometimes even say it to her. Perhaps most importantly though, it is essential that you remind your partner how you feel at this very moment and try and make it last forever. What I'd like you guys to do is hold each other's hands and stare deep into each other's eyes. In fact, actually, I think it would be even more powerful if all the couples in the room did this. Looks and health will not last forever, nor is money the key to all happiness. However, being with the person opposite you is. I want you to look deep into each other's eyes and know that statistically, they are the person most likely to kill you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude by saying that it's plain to see that given the choice, Zaf and Nats would couple up with each other 100 times over. And that with all that grafting, Zaf has paid off. In fairness, I don't think either of their heads would ever be turned. What they have is hard to come by, so I'd like everyone to join me in wishing them many more loving years together, although I'm certain that they will not need it. Ladies and gentlemen, please be outstanding for love, laughter, and happily ever after, and raise your glasses to the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. North. Sorry. One final thing. Just a bit of admin. Zaf has asked that you'll have your Groupon vouchers ready for when the bill for dinner comes around. So see you on the dance floor. Be seeing you. Thank you very much.